Great.
Now,
Now,
I love to show it because it's just kind of fun. I mean, I don't, the biggest thing I want to stress to everybody out there is, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. I just enjoy sharing what I have to make people more knowledgeable of collecting Beatles stuff. Because I certainly have bought bootleg something and found out that it wasn't real, and it was a bootleg copy, and I've spent several hundreds of dollars, if not more, and I got really taken. So lots of times on my channel I like to say, do your homework and look for this or look for that, or don't look for this, because there's people
I mean, none of this comes cheaply. You're just mentioning that. So what do you do without giving too much away in terms of your location or anything, but for your nickel and dime, like you went to school, what did you end up, what were you, a carpenter, or did you blow up bridges? What do you do for, what did you do for a living?
I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. That was my hometown, and grew up there, and I went to school throughout there. And actually by trade, what I learned to do was marketing and merchandising. So, when you see stuff on TV and they, say, hi, this is the, the soap you need to buy because it's by Procter and Gamble, blah, blah, blah. I worked on how to produce and how to make commercials. It never went that far. I've got my marketing degree, but I never got that far. So you always had to be a little bit more special than Beatle Brad to do that.
No. You're as special as we ever need to go. And a couple more hellos. Groovy Lisa coming in to say hello to you. And Groovy Lisa, her favorite band is the Monkees. She loves that Monkees autographed item. And Paul, another good friend of yours,
hey, Paul,
and mine.
Good friend of mine.
Hey, I know that guy. He goes.
Paul.
And then Paul goes, he steals Canadian Beatles albums from Canada.
I do. I love the Canadian pressing. Oh my goodness, the sound quality. We could do a whole nother show, Rachel, on Canadian pressings. I've gone to Canada just to buy Beatle albums.
Hey, Hudson. And Hudson's another fan. And
hey, Hudson, good to see you.
Of course, he loves the Beatles too. So, so you had some training in that, but that ultimately wasn't where you ended up earning your nickel and dime. What industry did you end up working in?
Food service.
Oh, okay. Were you the cook? Were you the chef? Were you the waiter?
No, I'm a people person. So I wanted to be out in the dining room and be at that time I was a server's assistant, and then I became a waiter and, doing stuff like that. So it was more, talking to the people and, doing all that. But, the restaurants I worked at were a lot different than your normal restaurants. So that's really my background.
It sounds like high-end dining.
Yeah, 5-star dining, valet parking, that kind of thing.
And it obviously did well, or you did well by it, because it costs money to buy some of these rather valuable Beatles items. So Indianapolis, that makes me think of David Letterman.
Yeah, and David Letterman was a good friend. Actually, I knew David Letterman before he even did TV. I mean, he used to be our local weatherman on TV.
Yeah.
And he lived right down the street from me and I know we don't have a lot of time, but I did stand-up comedy with David Letterman I did stand-up comedy for many, many years with David Letterman and Flip Wilson's brother. I also did stand-up comedy and was on radio morning team and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, kind of thought comedy'd be my way to go, but.
Like you were a pretty big concert goer yourself. You saw a lot of acts. Have you seen any of the Beatles solo perform?
I've seen Paul several times, and I've seen Ringo several times, and I've enjoyed all of those. I used to be in the Paul McCartney fan club, which was really cool, because back then when the Paul McCartney fan club, and in '89, he mailed to all of the people in the fan club, depending on where he is, they mailed out special tickets, and they'd say to you, now look in your mail because we're shipping out tickets to you. And so I got like 4th row tickets to go see McCartney on the floor, 4th row. And that was just I couldn't believe I was that close. You know, it was
Was
unreal.
that the best? I assume that's the best time you saw him, because usually up close means you're going to get a better show. The sound, the energy, the intimacy is going to be that much greater.
Yeah, I was hoping to get an interview and all that kind of stuff, or not an interview. I mean, an autograph. I even took I took a picture that he drew back on one of his albums. He did quite a rare drawing, and it's a UK pressing only. And I brought that along with me. And then I got the head letter also. I was invited to go. If you see the video, everybody watch after this video, but Tug of War, I think it's on that album where Paul is doing, see, I always get drained. I'm thinking of what it is, but you know, the song Take It Away.
Oh yeah, I want to hear you play till the lights go down.
Yeah, well, if you look at the crowd, got cameras and all that kind of stuff. Well, that was for the fan club only. So he was out in LA, and I got an invitation, but my mom's like, "We're not flying you to LA from Indianapolis," you know. But I had an invitation to go be in that video.
Oh wow,
hits a warm spot for me. It's like, oh, I could have been in the video.
Yeah.